My name is Doaa Osama Zyara. Today, I will talk about the Nakba. 77 years have passed since the Nakba. The catastrophe in Arabic took place in Palestine in 1948, in which more than 750,000 Palestinians were forcefully displaced from their homes and pushed into refugee camps in East Jerusalem, the West Bank, the Gaza Strip, and neighboring countries. But the Nakba didn't end in 1948. The catastrophe continues to affect more than 12 million Palestinians who remain stateless today. Historical Palestine was mostly made up of Palestinian, Muslims, Christians, and a small number of Jews, who generally lived together peacefully. The persecution of Jews across Europe led them to believe that they were not safe there, and Zionists saw Palestine as a prime location for Jewish homeland. Zionist leaders and common people alike got used to the idea that the only way of making Palestine a Jewish state is by encouraging the Palestinians to leave. The Zionist movement began organizing immigration and buying land in Palestine. This was the first step in turning Palestine into a Jewish homeland. Then, World War I began. Britain promised the Zionist support for a Jewish national home in Palestine. This came as a formal political letter known today as the Balfour Declaration. It also included that nothing shall be done which may prejudice the civil and religious rights in communities in existing non-Jewish Palestine. When World War I and the Ottoman Empire was defeated, Britain occupied Palestine. Then, the Jewish getting into Palestine. This couldn't have done without British government sponsorship. Jewish migration into Palestine continued for decades, and the Palestinian people organized large demonstrations against that influx. Palestinians saw British support as Zionism as biased and unfair, so the people in Palestine revolted in 1936 to fight against British and Zionist occupation. During 3 years uprising, thousands of Palestinians were killed. Britain dismantled the Palestinian Revolution, leaving them with no political or military leadership. However, British also began limiting Jewish migration. This upset the Jews who had fought with the British during the uprising and led them to create their own forces. Zionist militias carried out bombing attacks against both the British and the Palestinians. British announced in 1947 that they had been ending their mandate on Palestine. The file on Palestine was transferred to the UN, which suggested dividing Palestine into an Arab and Jewish state. As the British were preparing to leave, the new Jewish population began taking over, and it helped that they were heavily armed. The ethnic cleansing of Palestinians began months before the British officially left Palestine. Zionists were taking over major cities and hundreds of villages, forcing thousands of Palestinians into neighboring countries. The British ended their mandate on May 14, 1948, leaving their tanks and armored weapons to the Zionist occupation. From the time the British occupied Palestine in 1917 to when they left in 1948, the number of Jews is estimated have multiplied 10 times to half a million. As Zionist Jews declared the State of Israel on May 14, 1948, the Israel also had foreign military, political, and financial support. By April 1949, more than 500 villages and 10 cities were captured by the Israelis. Over than 750,000 Palestinians were expelled from their homes, and over than 13,000 Palestinians had been killed since the Nakba. Even then, the Nakba didn't end. Today, Israel occupies the whole Palestine without West Bank and Gaza Strip. Palestinians today continue to demand the right to return to their homes. The Nakba will not end until this right is granted. Thank you very much.